made it to Singapore, and this concludes my train journey through Southeast Asia. 2,500 miles, 85 hours, averages out to about 29 miles per hour. Not fast, but you have to remember I was stuck for 11 hours not going anywhere in Vietnam. It was quite the adventure. Every bit of the puzzle was formed here in Southeast Asia. And now I'm going to enjoy Singapore. Just crossed the border. I was planning on doing a train, a third train that day to get in, but it was sold out. Took the bus, and the bus was a 5-minute ride, 10-minute ride, and about $1. So you can't beat that. Easy peasy getting in, and Singapore. It's going to be a wild ride. I got into Singapore and tried my first cubicle hotel. Well, it's actually more of a hostel. It was surprisingly cozy and comfortable. Had my first taste of Singaporean hospitality as I was invited to share a beer and Szechuan chicken. The little chilies that we frequently discard are the actual snack that people enjoy here with their beer. Welcome to the hawker market, or one of many hawker markets here in Singapore. I had two things here so far: the pineapple fried rice, best pineapple fried rice I've ever had, and it was just called spicy chicken, and the chicken was done amazing. It was fantastic. Can't recommend that enough. Wow. You want your fish balls, this looks like the place. 6 Singapore dollars is like 4.5 US dollars. So the prices are just ridiculously reasonable. It's more expensive than all the other countries I've been to, but it's still a bargain. And if you feel like something exotic, there's always Thai food. The people here are very direct in business. They want business. You have nothing to do here? Go, go, go. They don't mess around here in Singapore. Entering the Sri Mariamman Temple brings you very quickly into another culture. Leaving your shoes at the door, you quickly see the devout in prayer being led by the shirtless priest called pujaris. They are topless to show their humility, purity, and profound respect for these Hindu deities. Many patrons come with offerings for their gods. A few miles away is an area called Little India. It's a fascinating walk of little shops that would be at home in Delhi. I was amused by the tailors working outside. This is definitely the place to find yourself a sari. Well, okay, not for me. Here there is another Hindu temple, the Sri Veer Kalaman. Once again, the devout come with their offerings and prayers. It is a beautiful temple, inside and out. Another 10-minute walk and you come upon the Arab Street neighborhood. Here you'll see the beautiful Sultan's Mosque and its magnificent architecture. Comb the streets and you come across adherents to another key religion of Singapore, Islam. Now it's a hustling and bustling area for restaurants and shopping. I was surprised to find a Mexican restaurant in the neighborhood. It was here that I saw an artist become a photo booth, drawing images on his palette strips. Ingenious. Behind me is the world famous infinity pool at the Sands Hotel, Marina Bay, Singapore. And I gotta tell you, it's something else. Look at the view these people in the pool get to see. A lot of people are saying, Brad, you're hitting a lot of malls in Southeast Asia. Yes, it's very difficult to avoid it. If I wanted to go to the Sands Hotel and see that infinity pool, I had to go through a mall. Well, I didn't have to, but it was certainly the easier way to go. And they love malls in Southeast Asia. Must be the heat, must be the humidity, because they're everywhere here. And I'm not talking about just your regular run-of-the-mill mall with a Gap. This one has stores like Philippe Patek, Piaget, Omega. We must be in the wristwatch theme of them all right here. Little Tag Heuer action. Super, super high-end everything in this mall. Yeah, you have all your designers as well. Amafi, Tag Heuer, and then they throw in a swatch just for good measure. I can see how they got the title, Crazy Rich Asians, because these people must be crazy rich. Nola Blanca, Davidoff of Geneva, Berluti, every high-end possible. Stefano Ricci. The entire area around the Marina Bay Sands is architecturally overwhelming. You can take a cruise around the bay, and one of the must-see buildings is, and I even hate saying this, the Apple Store. It's a sphere floating on the water. Even the inside is beautiful with views of the bay. From the Apple Store, you enter into, of course, yet another mall. This is your way to the hotel and the huge casino. At night, Spectra is a free light show at Marina Bay. On this night, it was Broadway tunes with synced up lighted trees. Definitely worth the price. In 1915, a drink was invented called the Singapore Sling. That invention happened here at Raffles Hotel in a bar known as the Long Bar. Long Bar because it's a relatively long bar. And this is the Raffles Hotel. Greeting you at the door is Vikram. He is a Sikh, and they've always had Sikhs do that. It is just for 90 years they've had a Sikh be the one to greet you when you get out of your car. What a way to be greeted when you get out of your car. This is a pretty awesome experience. As for the Singapore Sling, I opted not to get it. Why? Maybe it's the difference between being a tourist and being a traveler. As a traveler, I'm not going to pay $44 Singaporean, 33 US, to have a drink. The beer was 32 Singaporean dollars. It's just outrageously priced. That is the price of my hotel. The beer, the Singapore Sling, is a lot more than my hotel. So, not gonna do it. A tourist would say, you know, I'm on tour. What's money? A traveler can travel longer, the more he saves. In Singapore, everyone pretty much obeys the traffic lights, and they do not jaywalk in the middle of the street. Pretty easy to get in and out if you have a smartwatch. That's all you have to do is go here and tap and go. I'm now going to a kind of a more suburban area of Singapore called Woodlands, and see how people really live, not in the urban core. And here's an iJuice, ubiquitous here. Gives you fresh squeezed orange juice. I've already seen a couple replenishments by workers on these. Damn, that is fresh squeezed, pretty tart, cool, refreshing orange juice. I like this iJuice machine here in Singapore. It's 2 Singapore dollars, which is about $1.50. Well, I'm now seeing how most of the population live. This is the Woodlands part of Singapore, and as you can see, it's a lot of apartment blocks, high-rise apartment blocks, well, mid-rise apartment blocks, maybe 10, 12 stories some. They try to make it colorful. They have walking paths, as you can see, have a lot of plants and trees. It's really well landscaped. This isn't the Singapore you see in on postcards though. This is just your everyday woodlands scene. From what I understand, there's a lot of what they call PRs here, permanent residents. Once again, very few Singaporeans, but they get a lot of their labor from outside Singapore. Philippines, Malaysia. A lot of people live in Malaysia and work every day in Singapore. This is the kind of place where if you're residing here, that you'll live. And I've come across the first supermarket I've seen in Singapore. FairPrice is the leader here for supermarkets. You have to remember this whole country is basically one big city. So how many supermarkets can they handle? FairPrice tried a Costco-like warehouse club, and that shut down last year. Let's take a look at FairPrice. Here's the inside of the supermarket.
Okay, we are left with only one more. Yes.
Bananas.
Okay.
Just regular. This is not one of what you would call a superstore, but it is everything you might want. I'm fascinated how inflated all the bags are for everything. I think that they put in extra nitrogen and oxygen to protect against all the humidity that is here. These things are like big balloons. There's little product in here. It's just inflated. Here we have snack pack of potato chips, chili flavored, which is roughly equivalent to our barbecue. But boy, are they inflated. You get no more chips than in a regular snack size pack than in the US. They look big, inflated to the nth degree. This is what they call a coffee house here. It's meant to kind of simulate a hawker's market. There's little vendors all along the side, but this whole place is all owned by one person, and they run the beverage stand here and lease out to other people the little individual kitchens that make whatever you want to your heart's content. Not really a hawker's market, but it's meant to look like one, and it's nice. It's right in the middle of the community here, next to the supermarket and amongst all the blocks of homes. You certainly can get a lot of different things, whatever you want. You have your hair salon, your optician, little hardware store, and of course, what would it be without a McDonald's? And there's a KFC and a 7-Eleven that I see. There's even a Pizza Hut here. All these Western stores are very, very expensive. They're almost American prices, real close. Student meal. That's about $4.50 right there. In the heart of the city just are these little shopping centers outside. It's a place for people to congregate. It's a place for kids to take their rolling toys and play. It's just an open, inviting place. This is community. This is how people get together and enjoy what life they have. Plenty to eat. I just had some fried rice for $1.80 Singaporean, which is about $1.20 US. It's just a very, very nice, warm, welcoming environment. Across the way is an A&W root beer, a McDonald's, a KFC, a 7-Eleven. They're everywhere. Can't get away from those. It's just apartment block after apartment block, but between them is a lot of open area that is inviting to people. It's people scaled. Yes, it holds a lot of people, 12 stories high each one, clothing hanging out from up there. There are parking structures every once in a while, so you can own a car around here and pay for parking. It was about 65 cents a day. Just the heart of working class Singapore. but not immigrant working class Singapore. They are in different areas. This is for Singaporeans and people known as PRs, or permanent residents, and air conditioners. It is a tropical environment that makes air conditioning almost a necessity. These are somewhat subsidized condos. You don't actually buy it, you lease for 99 years. And everyone is telling me after 99 years, they have no idea what's going to happen. But that is down the road. Of course, the problem is it's not going to be an issue in 99 years. It'll be an issue in 90 years when you try to sell it, or your heirs try to sell it. Some of the paint schemes of turquoise and pink are reminding me of Miami Beach. Singapore is a bit of a melting pot, and I've been told that there are quotas for every ethnic group to be represented in these buildings, in these neighborhoods. Heard that about the Army too, that they try to make sure that they mix up the units. Singapore has a little over 6 million population. About 2/3 of those are citizens or permanent residents. The demographics are about 75% Chinese, 15% Malay. Indians make up about 8% of the population. This is almost the inverse of Malaysia, which contributed to Singapore's independence in the 1960s from Malaysia. Singapore does have policies in place to thoroughly integrate their housing and military service. School children have curriculums focusing on cultural harmony. Singapore has 4 official languages. These are English, Mandarin, Malay, and Tamil. There are a lot of cars here. I'm surprised. What I'm really surprised about is, why would anyone want a car? The public transportation will get you just about anywhere in Singapore. Shared track right here. Bicycle paths are everywhere. And why would you want the hassle of owning a car? Also, I was surprised that they used to build cars in Singapore. General Motors had a plant here. 2-story bike racks. Just more apartments as far as the eye can see. Obviously, it's pretty flat around here. Makes biking a whole lot easier. These apartments have a place to store your bicycles. Little garages for them. Here you can see gloves instead of silverware. Easy, simple solution. Huh? No, thank you. No, thank you. Don't try doing that with soup, though. Residence Corner. And there it is. Just a place to hang out. It's a little cool. Fan is blowing. Oh, that does feel good. Here is a court. Well, I would hope it would be a pickleball court. In reality, I'm willing to bet this is a badminton court. Beautiful sunny day. Why not use nature to dry your clothing instead of 1200 watts of power? A little customization. Here's a Muslim. Here's a Chinese family. What is it about America that doesn't let us have nice things? You know, think how these apartments would look anywhere in America. They would get run down, they would get graffitied, they would be taken over by gangs. It's not happening here. Everyone seems to take pride. Just look at the public transportation. It's so clean. I can't even begin to tell you. People have such a respect for it and pride in it, but they don't want to do anything to harm it. They don't eat, they don't drink. You know, maybe it's the surveillance state and they know they'll get caught. I don't know if that's true or not, but I do know that they don't do it. And it's just a privilege to be able to take such a simple transportation system anywhere in this country. It's a small country, it's a city. Let's face it, it's a city. But you can go anywhere on public transportation safely, securely, and it's a pleasant experience. I mean, maybe not at rush hour when you have to stand, can't find a seat, but it's still something that you want to do. It's so nice. It's a quiet train. You know, just people are minding their own business and enjoying getting from point A to point B without being hassled in any way. Same thing here, these apartments. They're already a dozen years old and they're looking really nice. They paint them on a regular schedule. They do maintenance on a regular schedule. It's just a very, very nice system. I know some of you are going to remind me that one of the reasons they don't have problems here is because of the severe punishment for getting caught. They can cane you, they can fine you, they can put you in jail. It seems to work here. Maybe caning is more humane than sticking someone in jail for 2 years. I don't know. It's just a beautiful, beautiful country with an infrastructure that is absolutely amazing. They have noise mitigation barriers. And you'll notice that these noise mitigation barriers have absolutely no graffiti on them. I've heard it be said that art and graffiti follow parallel paths, that you're not going to have art without graffiti. Can't say I buy that. There's a lot of art here, a lot of art. They have it in every building with the architects, but they have it on so many murals throughout the city, so many galleries. It's just a pleasure living here. These basically are bought and developed by the HDB, the Housing Development Board, and it's a subsidized interest rate that you get. These are not necessarily free market, but they are after a period of time. Usually around 5 years, you can then sell these, but you can't sell them beforehand, I guess, without very special circumstances. So these are subsidized to get people into housing. Look at all the people that ride their bikes here to the Seagate facility. They have their own parking lot here. To bicycle owners, strictly no parking of bicycle along the railings. Please park at the proper bicycle lots provided. Bicycle parked inappropriately will be padlocked for unlocking. Please contact Security Command. Singapore is a well-to-do country. It doesn't really have a minimum wage per se universally, but it does have sector minimum wages. And it's about $2,000 for a full-time person, and it's $10.50, that's per month, and it's $10.50 Singaporean for a part-time person. But for foreigners, the minimum wage is $5,600, meaning that they want people to try to get a Singaporean in the job instead of bringing in foreign help. Per capita, the gross domestic product of Singapore is 94,500 US dollars. That's in 6th place in the world, 2 above the United States, which is in 8th place with a per capita of $89,500. The one closest to Singapore economically out of all of Southeast Asia is Malaysia, with a per capita income of only $13,900, way down in 76th place. There's a lot that Singapore does right, and economically it is thriving. One of the problems with Singapore is that it's not a well-rounded economy. It has virtually no agriculture. It has some manufacturing, but almost all of its money is derived from services, and that can go up and down with the rest of the world's economy. Something to think about. Singapore may have one of the strongest economies in the world, if not the strongest. It is considered the 3rd least corrupt economy in the world. In terms of purchasing power, it may be the actual #1 strongest economy. Singapore has 4 pillars. It is trade, enterprise, manufacturing, and services, and it does all of them exceptionally well. Ever since the Suez Canal was built, people have wanted to come through Singapore to trade, reroute, and a whole economy with lots of tall buildings to show for it has developed. It's a strong, strong economy, but it's not completely well-rounded. It doesn't have agriculture as one of it. Everything has to be imported. So with everything imported, it relies on others. And that's something that could be an Achilles heel at some point down the road.
The government did a very good job in building our infrastructure, planning out the entire city and the transportation, yeah. But I think being a small country helps.
Yeah.
Helps in the planning for sure, yeah. And we are quite rich, so yeah, they can spend a lot of money on the infrastructure.
Tan and Alicia are a young couple waiting for some housing to open up before getting married. They currently are living with their parents.
Industry-wise, a lot of our industry is based on trade, which we are a trading hub. So, and also a lot on what's that called? Finance, insurance. That's our main selling point. Yeah, so it makes a lot of money. We need to get water from Malaysia. Yeah, because our own water is not enough to supply our entire country, and maybe a lot of natural resources from different countries. So for right now it's okay, but we have to keep that good relationship with other countries for sure. We try to do everything. They try to be the first in everything. There's also right now the AI boom. The AI industry is booming right now, and Singapore is also trying to build AI factories, everything, you know, big companies. It's slowly getting very expensive to live in. The class difference in terms of the rich here and the poor people here, the less well-to-do people here and middle classes is getting further. So that is an issue in the future. These entry-level jobs that the foreigners do, most Singaporeans wouldn't do it anyway. So it's really thankful to them. They help us build all our construction, our housing, everything that we live in, cleaning, maintenance, it's all them.
It's kind of funny. Everyone is asking me here, why did you come to the Woodlands? Well, I came because this is where regular people live. Got out of the city center where it's full of tourists and people who accommodate tourists. Here, they're just everyday people running about on a Sunday to enjoy their day off and have a nice leisurely weekend. Then they will return to city center on Monday. Part of their job, take the public transportation. It's a cycle, and it works. It's just such a nice area. This is the Jewel, Terminal 1 at the Shanghai Airport, otherwise known as Singapore Airport, SIN. And it is quite amazing, actually. You can't believe how humid it is here. It's a greenhouse, basically, and it's really interesting to see. This makes it the best airport in the world, without a doubt. There are a lot of other features at this airport, too, but this is really something special. Singapore being the rich country it is, no charge for this. Everyone who comes to the airport can enjoy. A lot of locals come just on the weekend if they haven't been before or just to see it again. It's truly an amazing place to spend a few contemplative hours if you want. A Saturday night in a hawker center is a sensory overload of sizzling wok, clicking beer glasses, and lively chatter. Locals crowd the complexes, passing plates of spicy food and fragrant sauté. Across shared tables, air is thick with deliciousness, humidity, and a contagious electric energy. It is a melting pot of joyous celebration where office workers, families, friends unwind over ice-cold pitchers of local beers and, gasp, they put ice in their beer. It is a vibrant, pulsing backdrop that defines Singapore's beloved communal dining culture. Singapore is a mixture of many parts that come together in a practical, united commingling of business and pleasure. If you can afford it, Singapore is a very special place not to be overlooked. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Mildly Adventurous.